Types of synovial joints. Ball and socket. Hip and shoulder joints. Move maneuverably, allows movement across three axes. Number 2, gliding. Tarsals and carpals. Connects flat curved surfaces that glide against each other. Number 3, hinge. Elbow and knee joints convex portion of bone fits into concave portion of another, allows movement in one place. 4, pivot. Radial ulnar joints allows rotation in one plane, rounded point of bone fits into groove of another. Number 5, sagittal. Joint between the thumb metacarpal and wrist thumb joint allows movement in two planes and does not allow rotation. Number 6, ellipsoid. Wrist joint, radiocarpal joint, allows movement in two planes. Distinguishing synovial joints. The bursae, small flattened fluid sacs. Number 2, intrinsic ligament. Thick bands of fibrous connective tissue that help thicken and reinforce the joint capsule. Number 3, articular cartilage located at the ends of bones, protects the end of the bones, allows for smooth contact surface for the bone to move about. For number 4, the joint capsule, fibrous structure consisting of the synovial membrane and fibrous capsule. Membrane allows certain nutrients to pass through while preventing synovial liquid from leaking. Number 5, extrinsic ligament. Separates from the joint capsule, help to reinforce the joint by attaching the bones together. Number 6, the joint cavity, located between two bony articulating surfaces, contains synovial fluid, which acts as a lubricant for joint, essential for reducing friction and providing nutrients for articular cartilage. Next on, muscle tissue. Smooth muscle tissue, found in the walls of internal organs such as the stomach and blood vessels. Involuntarily control. Number 2, cardiac muscle tissue, makes up the heart, involuntary control. Number 3, skeletal muscle tissue, attached to bones, responsible for body movement, voluntary control. Functions of the musculoskeletal system, allows the body to move, support the body, keep it upright, protects vital organs, main storage system for calcium, phosphorus, and calcium, made up of bones, muscle, and connective tissue that bind muscle and bones together. Next on, we have the type of contractions. Concentric, when you're shortening the force, so when you're lifting the weight, contracting. Eccentric is when you extend the muscle, you're stretching it out. Isometric is when you're just holding the muscle without, you're just holding it steady. Okay, next, what does origin mean? Point where muscle attaches to the most stationary part of the bone of the axial skeleton. Next, insertion. Point where the muscle attaches to the bone that is moved the most, the other end. Sliding filament theory. During muscle contraction, protein filaments interact at the molecular level, causing them to slide across one another. This sliding action is synchronized across the muscle and what we need to know as the muscle contraction occurs. Delayed onset muscle soreness, otherwise known as DOMS. Delayed onset of muscle soreness is the pain and stiffness felt in the muscles several hours after doing an unfamiliar or new exercise or overexerting the muscle. What is tendinitis? It is the inflammation of a tendon, which the tissue that connects muscle to the bone. It often causes pain, swelling, and reduced joint mobility in the affected area. The reflex arc. The body's rapid response to the threat of pain typically involves the following steps. Receptor. Number 1, receptor. Specialized sensory receptors detect a painful stimulus or threat. Number 2, afferent pathway. Nerve impulses from receptor travel to the spinal cord or brain for processing. Number 3, central processing. The spinal cord or brain processes the information and determines an appropriate response. Afferent pathway, nerve impulses carrying the response signal travel from the spinal cord or brain to muscles or glands. And lastly, we have effector. Muscles or glands carry out the response, often causing a rapid involuntary reaction to the painful stimulus. And then we have proprioception. Proprioception is the body's ability to sense the position, movement, and orientation of its limbs and other body parts without relying on vision. It's essential for balance, coordinating, and body awareness. You could also say this is a sixth sense. Role of the Golgi tendon organs. Golgi tendon organs are sensory receptors in tendons that monitor muscle tension. When tension becomes too high, GTOs trigger a reflex to relax the muscle, preventing injury from excessive force. How muscles attach to bones. Cylinder muscle fibers. Individual skeletal muscle in which contraction occurs. Blood vessels. Supply nourishment and remove waste from the muscle. Nerve cells. Communicate between the brain and the muscle. Tendons. Anchor and attach muscle to bone. When muscle contracts, it pulls on the tendon, causing movement in the bone.